Hello, on this video I'm going to show you how to format text so you can print on the screen. So after you watch this video, you're going to be able to print something like this on the string. And all the alignments, all the spacing is done programmatically. Before we start looking at the code, let's look a little bit at the documentation of Python. So if you go to the string documentation of Python, there is the format specification mean language. And this video is going to cover some of the features that is documented here. So let's write some code. First, I'm going to put a shebang line as well as some documentation. And now let's start writing some code to actually print something on the screen. So when I write this code here, I'm printing pet, price, and food. I'm going to run this code. So it prints pet, price, and food. There's no space, there's no formatting. What this does is replaces pet here within these curly braces, replaces price on the second curly braces, and then food on the third one. That's because the position of this curly brace is 0, the position of this curly brace is 1, and here is 2. And the same thing here, position 0, position 1, position 2. So if you don't put any position, you just assume the same sequence. I don't like to do this. I prefer putting the actual index within the curly braces because I find this a little bit more elegant. So this line here will print exactly the same thing as this line here. So here it is, you see exactly the same thing. If I put a number 2 here, for example, it will ignore the price and print food twice. So I'm going to put it back the way it was before. So 0, 1, and 2. Now I'm going to copy line 12. And then I'm going to paste here. Because I want to add some padding. The reason I want to add some padding is because there is no space in between the word pet, the word food, and so on. So I want to add some space in between here and here. You can add some space by doing this, but this is not very elegant. Let's programmatically add some space. And to add some space, we can actually add some padding. To do that, right here, I'm going to put a column and then the number of characters that I want to add as a padding. So I want to add 10 on the word pet. Now what that does, it reserves 10 spaces for the word pet. Pet now gets printed on a space that has 10 characters wide. So if I count here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this space here of 10 characters is now reserved for the word pet. And I can do the same thing for price and food. Price gets printed right here. I'm going to put a column and number 12. 12 because I want 12 characters for the word price. And for the word food, I'm going to put 14. So in this case, I have 14 characters reserved for the word food, 12 for price, and 10 for pets. Run the program, and now I have a little bit more organized. The next thing I want to cover is the alignment. So I'm going to copy line 15. I'm going to paste right here on 18. And I want pet to be aligned on the center instead of on the left. To align pet on the center, right here after column, I'm going to put a caret. So this will make the word pet align on the center. So now pet is aligned on the center. And the word price, I want aligned to the right side. So this here is the word price. So I'm going to put a greater than sign that aligns the word price on the right side. And then here I'm going to do the same thing so I can align the word foods on the right as well. So now I have pet aligned on the center, price aligned on the right, and then foods are line on the right. All right, great. So I'm gonna copy this line again. And then instead of putting pet, I'm gonna put a name of the pet. First pet is going to be called Bob, and Bob has a price. Bob is going to cost that much money. And then Bob likes to eat banana. So same formatting here, just different values. And if we run this code, now we have this line. Now, I want to put some few characters on this line. So right here in between banana and the price, I want to put some character, some kind of character. To do that, all I have to do is right here, put whatever character that I want to fill in. If I want a star, I want to put a star here, and that puts a bunch of stars here for me. So I don't like the star. I'm going to put a dash, so it prints dash for me. Now let's keep going. The next thing I want to fix here is the price. The price has this number and it does not have the decimal separator. So I want to add the decimal separator on this. So I'm going to copy this line again. I'm going to paste right here. And in order for me to work with the decimal separator, I'm going to put a dot right here and then 2F, and that tells me I want to have a dot and then 2 decimals after the dot. So I only have 2 decimals after the dot. It got a little better. So this is our decimal. And then I'm going to copy this line again. I'm going to paste here. And now I want to do the thousands separator. The thousand separator, just put a comma right here on the 1000. So to do that, right here, before the dot, I'm going to put a comma. And this comma will be the 1000 separator. Run, and now I have the 1000 separator right here. All right, so the next step, I want to start using some variables on the format. So I'm going to copy this line again, paste here. And now, instead of using 10 here, I want to use something else. I want to actually use a variable. So I'm going to create a variable here called padding. And the padding is going to be equals 10. So right here, instead of putting the 10, I want to replace that by the padding. So I'm going to put another pair of curly braces, and then I'm going to put the name of the variable that I want here. I want the name to be width. And then right here, inside the format function, I'm going to put a comma, and then the width. Now on the width, I can put the value that I want directly. So let's say I want a value 10, and that works just fine. Or I can put the variable padding. So the width equals the padding. So now every time I run this code, whatever the variable I assign to padding gets assigned to width and then gets replaced right here. So if I do 100, then it changes to 100. I'm going to put it back to 10. And I want to do the same thing here on the 12 and on the 14 as well. So on the 12, I'm going to put the word width as well. And then the 14, I want to do the same thing. The problem now is that all of them have the same width or the same padding. And I don't want that. There are two ways for us to solve this problem now. We can create different variables here, or we can use the same variable and just add some numbers. Either way work. So let's solve this problem here. Instead of using with, I'm going to use with 1, with 2, and with 3. And then here in the padding, I also need to use with 1 and so on. Now, I'm going to put the formats on the next line. So I'm going to put an enter right here because this line is getting too long. So with 1 and then a comma, with 2, and then with 3. So all the with 1, 2, and 3 now have the same value because I'm putting padding right here. The padding is the same. So in order to have them back to 10, 12, and 14, I'm just going to add 2 right here because this is padding plus 2, and then padding plus 4. And here I'm not going to add anything because that's 10. So once I add 2 here and 4 here, now I get back to 10, 12, and 14 alignment. So you can use this little addition right here, or you can create 3 variables for padding and assign to them. Either way works. Now let's keep going. On the price here, it shows this price, but I want the dollar sign to show it right here. In order for us to have the dollar sign here, concatenate a dollar sign, but the problem is if you run this code on a different country, then their currency might be different. So we want to do because of that, we want to use locale. Now if I go to this website here, you look at the locale, and it says here that if you import locale and then you set the locale to empty, it will pick it up the user's default setting. So that means whatever computer they have, it will pick up the locale. If I put US here, it will make it always US. I don't want to make always US. I want to make it generic so it can pick it up with the user's computer's settings for their locale. I'm going to copy line 31 and I'm going to paste right here. And then instead of using this value, I'm going to format this so you can use the locale. All right, so if I run this code now, it gives me an error. And the error it gives me here, it says the unknown format F, in this case float, for a string. That means this value here is a float, but after it passed through the locale function, it became a string. So I can no longer format this as a float. So because of that, I need to remove this formatting right here, which is for a float. Run again. And now it works. However, if you notice, we lost the 1000 separator. So I'm going to copy this line again, and I'm going to put the 1000 separators. I'm going to paste here to add the 1000 separator right here. I'm going to put an extra value for the function, and the value is grouping equals true. And if I run this program again, now I have the 1000 separator right here in the bottom. Now, this line here is a very, very large line. So I'm going to break this line here again. And I don't want this line to be that large. So I want to decrease the size of this line here. So in order to decrease the size of this line, I'm going to copy this line again. I'm going to paste here, and I'm going to try to decrease the length of this line here. So I'm going to create a variable for this formatting here. Formatting is on this variable now, so now I can replace this whole line by formatting. And then the locale, I can also replace this whole value here with the price. So now this whole text can be replaced by price. And that makes my string here much shorter. It is still a little longer though, but much better than before. So now if I run this program, I have exactly the same value right here, but now a little bit more organized. And now, if I change the locale for some other locale, you're gonna notice that the $sign here will change. So right here in line 38, where I set the locale, I want to put the locale for a different location. And if I run this code now, I have the euro sign here instead of the $sign. If I do this, I'm forcing this program to always print the euro sign here. If I want to force this to be always United States formatting, I put EN US, then this is always United States format. And again, if I remove this thing here, then it picks it up whatever format the user's computer has. In my case here, since I am now United States and my computer is set up for United States local, it picks up United States. Alright, so that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.